welcome back to my channel. Hey, so if you watched my most recent video, it's kind of about how I am starting to prepare to go on my semester at sea voyage in the spring of 2022. I'm working on getting that stuff ready for studying abroad, but I wanted to make this video about the ways that you can kind of study abroad and how I did, at least when I was in high school. Studying abroad does not have to be just saved for college. There are tons of ways to get out and explore the world and travel and learn at the same time. I studied abroad during the summer between my junior and senior year. I went to Alicante, Spain for 1 month. It was like exactly 4 weeks during July and August, and it was one of the most incredible experiences that I ever did. Start by looking into different programs. I knew that I wanted to travel with a program called CIEE, but there are tons of programs out there that do tons of similar stuff like this. But as far as CIEE goes, they have actually quite a few options. They don't just have these summer programs like what I did. They have the summer programs, which are about a month long. They also have gap year programs, so if you want to go after your senior year before you go to college. But also while you're in high school, they have exchange programs where you can go for 1 semester or an entire year and study abroad in that country. You'd live with a host family and you'd go to high school in whatever country you choose to go to. I did a program over the summer, like I said, but the summer programs can be broken down into 3 categories as well. They have language and culture intensive programs, which is just kind of where you go, you study and you learn the language. You have, I believe, in total 60 hours of instruction in that language. You can get college credit for those courses. You get to interact with the people of the city and learn more about the culture as well as the language. There are also service and leadership programs that you can do through CIEE, which are really where you're going and you're doing mission trips or projects, or you're helping local communities build homes. There's medical-based ones, stuff like that in different countries that you're passionate about. And the third option is to do global discovery. These are really interesting as well. They're more focused on specific areas of interest, possible careers, but how they vary from around the world. With global discovery, you can pursue or develop an interest in tons of different specific areas such as marine science, filmmaking, global conservation, other things like that, but you really go to a country and you dig into why that's important there and hopefully help you pursue your passions or build a passion for one of these things. So for me, I chose to do the language and culture intensive. The reason I did that is because at the time I was planning on minoring in Spanish and I wanted the college credit for that. I really wanted that in-country experience that you can get through one of these programs. So what did that look like for me? I'm going to throw up some pictures here that you can look at because was one of the most incredible experiences. It was not only gorgeous, but I made tons of friends. I got to live with a host family and they were so nice. Their food was amazing the entire time I was there. But like I said, I'm going to be throwing up some pictures right here that you can kind of take a look at. I do know that obviously you don't just get to show up in Spain and spend a month there and have the greatest time of your life. I did have to plan for quite a while in advance for it. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit how I convinced my parents to let me do this trip, how I prepared for it in advance, what packing kind of looked like, and all that good stuff. So to start off, when I came across the program, obviously as a junior in high school, it took a little bit of convincing of my parents to allow me to go on the trip. I looked a ton into it, and this is what I suggest you do too. I didn't have to go as far as making a PowerPoint presentation or anything like that, but if you do have to, there are tons of great reasons to do this program. Some of the ones that I brought up to my parents is that it was going to be language and culture intensive. I would be attending class and learning more about the language that I was hoping to study later on. It did provide me college credit. I also brought up that it was going to prepare me better for my AP exam the following year. I was taking AP Spanish my senior year of high school, and so studying abroad in Spain right before that was super beneficial for me. One of the other things to bring up is that this is actually a really good test to see if you're the type of person that would want to study abroad while you're in college. It's great to get it out of the way when you're a little bit younger, and you can find out if this is something that you really want to commit an entire semester to when you are older, whether that's your sophomore, junior year of college, something like that. But this way you're able to kind of test it out in advance, dip your toes in the water, and kind of get a sense of what it would be like for you to be gone from your family in another country for that long. So after you have convinced your parents that this is a great idea for you to do, the next thing that I would suggest is looking into the application. I would apply as early as you decide to go. It's not terribly difficult to get into the program, but it would be super sad if the one program that you want does fill up. So kind of how that application process works, you go through and you write a few responses just as you would do for like a college application. But the thing that is a little bit different is you don't necessarily get to pick exactly where you want to study. So you're going to put down your top few options. Most people do get placed in their top option, if not their second. I've not really heard of anyone getting placed in their third option, but do be aware that there are some places that are a little bit more popular than others, such as like Madrid, Barcelona, and some of the other more popular areas around the world. But after that application is done, the next thing that I would suggest is looking into scholarships. There are merit-based and needs-based scholarships. I did receive a merit-based scholarship, which actually credited me about $700 to $1,000 off of my trip, which was incredible for my family and for me personally. But there are tons of needs-based scholarships as well. I would also suggest looking into scholarships that are kind of through your community. This isn't something that I necessarily looked into because I didn't think that there were scholarships available for students that weren't in college yet, but there are options for that. So I would really definitely recommend looking into those things to help bring your costs down. As far as costs go, fundraise for this trip. This is kind of how I convinced my parents to let me go. They obviously were providing me with some money and helping me out with that, which was incredible, but they did want me to fundraise and save for it on my own. So this involved saving up my money from a job that I got, explaining to family and friends, asking for donations. I think I sold a bunch of my clothes that I hadn't worn anymore. But things like that, every little bit adds up and helps. And so I would recommend getting an early start on that. Talking about clothes, the next thing I did was make a packing list. I made so many, and I'm actually going to do another video here soon about what exactly I packed for this month-long trip. I brought one regular size bag and a carry-on bag and my backpack, and it lasted me the entire month. And so if you want to see exactly what I brought and kind of some suggestions for packing for that long, I will be posting that video here in the next little bit. So I won't talk about that too much right now. Basically, this program was absolutely incredible for me, and I suggest to anyone that is even thinking about traveling in their future or wants to find out if they like to travel to do a program like this early on. If you have any more questions, please leave them down below in the comments. I would be happy to answer them. Also, please feel free to check out my blog, which I will link below, that has a little bit more information on that adventure that I went on, as well as any of my future adventures. And please, again, like and subscribe to this page if you want to see more about my travel, future travel that I have, and any of the things that I'm doing in my life. So